So on to programming question 4, referring to the routine MakeMove. If you look at the routine MakeMove, what it does is first of all checks if it's white's go and the finish rank is 1. But then what that means is that we are moving a white piece right to the back of the board where black started off. So what we do is we also check whether it's a readum that's being moved, because we know that we have this rule in Capture the Sarrum that if it's a readum and it gets to the opponent's end of the board, then it can be promoted to a Mazar's Pani. So if it's white's turn and they've got all the way to rank 1, which is where black started, with a readum, then it's promoted to Mazar's Pani by just changing what it's called here. And of course, the place where the readum started is then set to blank. And this next part of the code here just does the opposite for if it's a black readum. So if it's a black readum and it reaches rank 8, then the same thing. It'll be sort of upgraded to a Mazar's Pani. And again, the start position set to blank. If none of those conditions were true at the moment, then all it's doing is it's moving the piece and it's setting the place where it came from to blank, and then it's just ending. And what this question wants us to do is to add in something that will check: is it about to, take a piece? Is it about to capture something? Is it going to land on something? And we know that to capture something, you just need to land on the same place as it. And you can't land on a place where one of your pieces is, and the validation for that is dealt with elsewhere, but you could potentially land on an opponent's piece and capture it. It's fairly straightforward. What they want is a little message that tells you if you've done that. We're going to do it right at the beginning. I'm sure if you have a little think about it, you can probably realise why. It's because we want it to happen regardless. We don't just want it to happen if it's a white readum getting to the back of the board. We don't just want it to happen if it's a black readum getting to the back of the board. We want it to happen in any case. So the very first thing we're going to do in this procedure is we're going to check whether the desired endpoint contains a piece already. So we'll check whether anything's in that position. So we look for the finish rank, finish file position on the board, and of course we need to look at whether I was going to say we need to look at whether it's an opponent's piece, but actually I think that's dealt with somewhere else, isn't it? So we're just going to look at if what's there isn't equal to a blank space. Okay, and we know that when there's nothing in a space, it's this 2 spaces. Okay, so we're going to say, okay, this place where we're trying to move the piece to, by this time it's dealt with all the validation of, is it a legal move? Can we move there? So it must be that if it's going to land on something else, then it must be the opponent's, because if it was going to land on one of our own, that would have been already dealt with. So if the board at that position is not equal to this double space that indicates that the position is empty, then we know that we must be landing on an opponent's piece. So then we need to give a message. Now, it would be really easy if we could just give a little message that says, oh, you've captured an opponent's piece. But what we're actually looking at here is we want to specify what piece has been captured. Okay? So we're going to say actually going to put whatever's there, say, I don't know, it might be a white Mazar's Pani. So if it's WM, that's actually going to say WM. Of course, I've forgotten to put my right line statement in there. So what I'm actually going to do is write whatever piece is in that position, and then I'm going to add the little message that says that's been captured. It's important that we do this at the beginning before we've actually done the move. Doing the move that we do here and here and here, because once we've done the move, once we've wiped over what used to be in that position with the new piece that's just been moved, then we won't be able to tell what's being captured. So that needs to be done right at the beginning before we make any move. Okay. So we check to see whether the board at the desired finished position has got a blank space. If it hasn't got a blank space, then we're capturing whatever's there. So we find the name of whatever's there, and we then put a little message saying it has been captured. Let's give it a little go, see if it works. Yeah, let's start with the sample game. Oh, that didn't work with the sample game. I think that must be because where I have adjusted the program to do this get type of game, it doesn't do the clever tricks with the built-in functions to check whether my entry was lowercase or uppercase that they had in the main. So going back to programming task 1, you will want to check that you didn't wipe out that nice piece of coding that I've just wiped out. I just need to make sure in this case then that I put a capital Y just for now, just to get through this testing. So I need to try and spot whether there's an opportunity for me to capture anything, and that would require me to remember the rules for moving things, which isn't always terribly easy, I don't find. Let's see if I can move that white Sarrum. No, okay. I'll just pause this a second while I look up the rules for the moves. Right, apologies for that that delay. I believe that I can move this white Gigsa gear backwards. I believe that the Gigsa gear isn't limited to moving forward, so I believe I can move it and try and take this black elo, and we should get a message that says BE has been captured. That's what I'm hoping. Let's just give that a go now. Fabulous, look at that. BE has been captured, and the white Gigsa gear in the right place. So we're working. Fantastic.